Assalamualaikum and very good evening to our beloved lecturer, Sir Azhan. So this is our group research project video presentation and our group members is Bavitra, Alif Daniel, Jivan Raj, Muhammad Najmi and last but not least, Muhammad Hafizul Izzat. So our video project will begin with our introduction. I would like to call Najmi.
Okay, hi. Waiting for the slide. Okay. Our introduction is which is the airline industry, which is Malaysia Airline as a topic. We do research on a few economic concepts, which is demand, supply of airline after pandemic COVID-19, production possibility curve, which is PPC, optimal production, unemployment or inefficiency. Next is economic growth or recession. And last but not least, government or policy. We will begin with demand. Okay, like you guys can see, the picture I showed is about the airline of Malaysia, the airline of Malaysia Airlines after the COVID-19. Okay, the price will remain constant at Q0. The demand of airplane will decrease from Q0 to Q1. After that, the demand curve shift from D0 to D1. This happened because of social economic condition in Malaysia. The government proceeded to lockdown and prohibited people to travel using the airplane because of COVID-19. Next, because of consumer income, like we know, many people lost their job, which is affect their income. Okay. Next slide is supply. Okay, this is supply for Malaysia Airline after the COVID-19. The price will remain constant at P0. Next, quantity supply of airline will decrease from Q0 to Q1. The supply curve shifts from right to the left at S0 to S1. This happened because of COVID-19. The government proceeded to lock down for avoid the virus from spread. Uh, the demand and supply are directly proportional. Supply decrease because people cannot travel anywhere using the airplane. If the demand decrease, supply of Malaysia Airlines will decrease too. Okay, next I will give to my friend.
Okay, so I will continue with my part, which is PPC. PPC is a production possibility curve. So the COVID-19 pandemic has a significant impact on the aviation industry due to travel restriction and significant drop in demand among travelers. Airline companies has been crippled by the loss of traffic and revenues. So based on the graph, the PPC graph, so we know that the curve show the strategy used by AirAsia to save more cost efficiently by reducing their flight tickets price in order to increase their sale. This can prove from the graph as the lower the flight ticket price is the higher sale the airline will achieve. The occurring pandemic has affected the airline in making their usual achieved profits. Hence, why this strategy is used as an alternative to save more costs and to ensure the profit are still received. The opportunity cost of reducing ticket price is expressed in terms of the ticket sales. And for the second graph, For the curve 2.0, for the Malaysia Airlines Company, the graph illustrates mass airline strategy in the need of entrenchment that involve their employees to ensure the profits and financial loss are controlled. This can be seen roughly through the curve expressed on the graph. As the more employees are reached, the more costs could be saved. The strategy of retrenchment is not a foreign concept when it comes to ensure profit and when the company is usable as a very possibility has to be taken into serious consideration. The opportunity cost of the reducing number of employees is expressed clearly in terms of the cost saved. So this is for me. I will pass to the next slide.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Hafiz Izzat. I will talk about economic growth or recession. In airline industry, due to COVID-19, airline industry are facing economic recession. One of the reason is movement control order, which causing in airline customer are prohibited from using airline service. As a result, the airline industry is facing a loss of income. The main factor of recession is due to each country want to curb the virus transmission. Not just in Malaysia, the airline industry in all over the world are struggling due to COVID-19. The main the main factor impacting the aviation country since the pandemic include the drop in tours and transport as a significant number of international and domestic flights are being cancelled worldwide to curb the virus transmission. The effect, everything that if there is a economic recession, then there will be a economic effect. Due to the COVID-19, the unemployment rate also significantly increased. This is because the airline industry is suffering losses and no flight offered for the domestic and international. So the management need to reduce the number of workers to reduce the cost. This will increase the rate of unemployment. We move to the next slide, please. Okay. Uh, Due to COVID-19, government need to introduce their government policy and incentive. First government policy is implement expansionary fiscal policy. This policy is implemented to get the economy out of recession by increasing government expenditure and reducing tax. In the airline industry, the government implement a temporary deferment for income tax in this pandemic so that the industry can reduce its expenditure to stay in business. Next policy is expansionary monetary policy. This policy is implemented when there is an economic recession, where the government will increase the supply of money. In this pandemic, the government should focus on the shift from support to limit hardship and maintain economic capacity to the stimulus for economic recovery as containment and mitigation measures are relaxed. And for the incentive, Malaysia Aviation Commission (MEFCOM) issued a commentary covering its views and position on the role of the government in aiding airlines during the COVID-19 pandemic. MEFCOM state that government should give funds to airline companies so that they will stay longer in the business. Next is subsidies and incentive to retain employees on the payroll so that the worker will not be unemployed. And lastly, temporarily waiving government imposed charge such as airport tax, air traffic control charges, and airport departure levies. Thank you. We move to the next person.
Hi, my name is Bhavitra. I'm going to talk about a literature review. The title of my first article is The Effect of Travel Restrictions on the Spread of the 2019 Novel Coronavirus COVID-19 Outbreak. The findings are, while the government's response centered on prevention and stabilization initiatives, such as shelter and housekeeping directives, growing pressure from different parties such as households and businesses included prompted policymakers to draft initial economic recovery plans. The second article is about the socio-economic implications of the coronavirus pandemic. The American airlines like Delta, the US, United Kingdom, and Southwest also reported plans to slash foreign routes by as much as 80% to 90% in the coming months, while domestic capacity would be decreased by 20% till 40%. The third article is about coronavirus travel updates, which countries have restrictions and FCO warnings in play. The findings are the UK Foreign Office has also told the UK nationals that international travel is important. At Europe, the chairman of the EU committee agreed to suspend for 30 days all non-essential travel outside the Europe. The fourth article is about the socio-economic implications of the coronavirus pandemic. Ryanair has confirmed that it will have to develop its new fleet that Air France is notifying its flight schedule of reductions of up to 90% and that British Airways have made cuts of up to 75%. In fact, aircraft still operating are far from complete. The fifth article is about coronavirus pandemic and tourism, dynamic stochastic general equilibrium modeling of infectious disease outbreak. The travel industry faces a surge of cancellations without precedent and a substantial drop in demand in the form in strict government directives to enforce social distancing and restrict unnecessary journeys. Borders are on the rise worldwide. In the United States, it is illegal to join any foreign national from China, Iran, and other EU countries. Six is about scenarios for a post-COVID-19 world airline networks. Ministers in the Netherlands have also commented on implementation measures for ensuring the continued service of Air France till KLM and Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam, while the Italian government was said to be close to taking full control of Alitalia airline. The seventh article is about airline seat commercial orders deferred, not cancelled. For purposes of enhanced monitoring and proactive supervision, FAA may consider service suspensions and changes in routes, timetables, and operations as additional stressor. FAA can also revoke a flight airline's authorization to fly to that airport, potentially allowing airlines to revalidate the operations after flight has been restored. Lastly, about airline seized commercial orders deferred, not cancelled. Federal Aviation Administration (FAA) released on March 16, 2020 Compliance Guidelines Letter 2020 reiterating its stance that an airport must have the FAA permission for non-aircraft closure. It will take more measures to ensure that public health policies and regulations.
Okay,
Thank
thank you
you.
for Bavitra. So for the next slide, I will like to invite our one of our member group, Jeevan.
Hi, my name is Jivan Raj. Today I'm going to present about the problem statement. The COVID-19 pandemic has significantly affected the flying business because of the movement limitations and drops out after among explorers. Huge decreases in traveler numbers have brought about flights being dropped or planes flying wide between the air terminals. Some have endeavored to abstain from discounting drop trips to decrease their misfortunes. Carrier producers and air terminals administrators have additionally laid off representatives. As indicated by some commentators, the following emerge is most noticeable, terrible at any point experienced throughout the entire existence of flying business. So next will be research statement. Research statements are the main three questions that we are going to answer with our further research at the end of result and discussion part. So let's see what are the questions. First will be the question that as us all pondering is how long will it take for the airline passenger demand to return to the pre-COVID-19 state. Next will be what shall happen to the air cargo industry if this problem persists. Last but not least, the aircraft manufacturing industry has also taken a major hit due to the COVID-19. Hence, what are the steps that these industries would take to remain in the food chain? So next will be unemployment. According to the Department of Statistics Malaysia, DOSM, for March this year, the country reported an unemployment rate of 3.9% attributable to the COVID-19 impact. The aviation industry has faced many threats throughout the history, but none as swift and serious as the one presented by the COVID-19 split. The hardest hit workers are those related to the passenger handling and flight operation. Although in these unpredictable times, administration workers are marginally stronger. The pandemic that emerged from the COVID-19 spread has forced airlines to cut capacity and pressure the government for the emergency relief. The scale and financially of the international airlines is rising, their susceptibility to shocks and instability across history. A research has demonstrated that cuts in jobs are possible solution these airlines will have to face in challenging times like the one in the industry facing today. In addition, these shocks would displace nearly 7% of the airline workers.